So we are, ooh, do you guys see that? Do you miss, it's just so weird that there's a whole body part over here. I think that's his it's either his knee or his, no, it can't be his knee. I think that's his foot because he's already head down. Yeah, what's up guys? So I basically announced on, it's a bit bright, I announced on the gram that I have been carrying this little one for a while, and I know it was a surprise. I think you guys know that's kind of my drift now. I don't know, I mean, there's just a couple of reasons, and I was planning on doing a whole video about that, but I just felt like I just wanted to go through this whole process kind of privately without like all the pressure and stuff. So yeah, I'm also running out of breath. Anyway, so I asked you guys to send over some questions so I can give you the babe, you ready? So I can give you,
are we going right now?
Yeah, I'm ready. So I can give you the spiel of what the pregnancy journey has been so far. Yeah, so I'm just gonna get ready. We're trying to do a lot of different things right now. We're trying to go to the store. So yeah, let me just get ready and then we can get into these questions. Whoa, it's such a pretty day. Okay, we have the questions out here. So question 1, how far along am I? I'm a whole 9 months. Oh my gosh. Yeah, I'm 9 months. He should be coming literally anytime now. It's crazy how fast time went. Okay, trying to adjust the camera, but there's really not any space for both of us, kind of.
I can just be kinda in it, I'm cool with that.
Okay, so, whoa.
Question.
How do you feel about the due date being next week?
It's just such a weird thing.
I
where
know.
You know everything's about to change, but you have no idea when it's about to happen.
When it's gonna happen and how drastic of a change it's gonna be.
I know it's gonna be drastic.
No, I don't know how drastic in terms of like how I'll feel and how much will change. Like I know things will change, but you can never predict how much until you actually are in that situation. You know? You know what I mean?
I know what you mean, I feel you.
This is probably the last time we're gonna go to the grocery store together.
Really?
Yeah. Damn, that's crazy. So question number 2.
What was the first question?
How far along am I?
Oh.
I said 9 months. Did we plan for it? It was talked about before it happened, but
it wasn't planned, but it was planned at the same time. It's kind of like when you don't study for a test and you obviously don't plan on failing it, but you know if you don't study you're gonna fail. So yeah, we didn't study per se.
I mean,
and we passed.
I think. I don't know.
I'm losing the context of the comparison, but
I know. I was like, where are you going?
Yeah, they know what I'm trying to say.
Stuff like. Anyway, that's enough context. But either way, it doesn't matter.
I think my description was very accurate.
Yeah, whatever he said. How did we find out?
A pregnancy test.
No, that's obvious.
Like, I know, I'm just trying to clown the person that asked that question.
No, because people find out in different ways. The way we found out was, it's actually funny, it was after the night, I don't know if you guys saw one of my vlogs, it was with one of my girlfriends, Koi. So I found out the next morning. I don't know, it was just kind of those things where you have a feeling. There was just something that told me, yo, like, I think you should just test it out. but it wasn't that feeling of I know I am, like I can feel it, like everything's changing, like I was chill. So then I took the test and Luke was asleep right next to me, and then what did I say to you?
You just said my name and I knew what it was immediately.
Why?
Because it was just the way you said it, and I was like, oh yeah, that's definitely I'm pregnant name call for sure.
Cravings called. To actually answer a question about food. This one's relatable. What type of cravings do I have?
You craved me.
No, I didn't. Actually, that's not true. I didn't want you at all, remember? When I repulsed you.
No, there was definitely a point where just my smell threw you off.
Yeah, no, I couldn't.
Which is crazy because I definitely smell better than you do in general. So.
What are you talking about? Oh my god. I haven't had like crazy cravings, like not crazy to the point where people are mixing like fish and like candy. I don't know. I've seen some crazy stuff.
Yeah, that's your cravings have standards at least. For sure.
I think I've been craving every type of food. What happens to me is that I crave like certain dishes or cuisines like really bad. Like I can't, like right now I said I really want pizza. I was like, I really, really, really need pizza. Then we went and got pizza.
The whole world has stopped while you eat this pizza. That's how it goes.
Well, at least I've been craving fruits and vegetables. I'm actually happy about that. But also it's been like ice cream, cake, a lot of cake of late.
You've had a crazy sweet tooth.
I've never had a sweet tooth.
Yeah, it's very unlike you.
It's been great. I've enjoyed having a really big appetite, so it's been fun. Another question about food was, is there food that you couldn't stand during your pregnancy but used to love before? Food I couldn't stand before that I am crazy about, and it really, really hurt my soul, was garlic and anything spicy. There was a point where during the first trimester I couldn't eat anything with flavor, especially garlic. I think the garlic thing, I was like, no. So that was bad. But we passed it, thank God. I thought it was gonna be the whole time. Yeah, it was just a couple of weeks in the beginning. Oh, okay. I hope it's stable. Yeah, so I was editing the video and I realized that I think we deleted all the footage of the rest of the day. So it's actually been a month since we had our little baby boy, and he's actually right here. He's sleeping, so if you hear a few things, I think he's actually trying to wake up. We're just gonna answer questions until he gets himself up. It's actually gonna be really interesting answering these questions after everything's happened. I don't know if you guys would want me to do like a newborn Q&A. Like, I don't know. I feel like we've already done a Q&A and like maybe there's not much to talk about, but I don't know. I don't know what you guys would want to hear. Oh my gosh, he's so hungry, you guys. We have to feed and do this video at the same time. So give me 1 second. So okay, let me go on to the questions. How do I feel about the fact that you are about to birth and raise a whole human? At the time, I think me and Luke addressed it. Like, there were just so many emotions. Of course, your life changes. Obviously, it's like such a drastic change. But one thing that's just so important to me is that I don't lose myself. And I think I just have to be super intentional about that. So I was so adamant about creating or curating stuff that I was reading and stuff that I was looking at. Even people I follow, even moms that I follow, I have to make sure that they're aligned with like what I believe. Some of the things that inspire me is like, you know, obviously moms who are able to like, you know, still work and still, you know, have their hobbies and still kind of be themselves. I think that's such a huge thing for me, especially being young. Like, I'm still in my early 20s. I still need to make sure I'm taking care of myself. It's my mind that will definitely dictate how I act. And I've talked so much about this, but yeah, I think for me it was just super important that I I control what I'm consuming about motherhood. Yeah, that's how I felt. I think I feel like that was such a long answer, but yeah. So there's a question here. So how was your first trimester? Mine has put me down literally. Girl, I feel you. Mine was, it was so bad. I was experiencing so much nausea, like so much, like I was driving and throwing up at the same time. And I had such a long commute to work because I was so tired. I would have to sneak in a nap. I would sleep almost 12 hours a day. I didn't want to do anything. I was just not up to anything. My hormones were all over the place. I mean, I don't know if it was all over the place or I was just dealing with my emotions, because I mean, it was a lot. If anyone's going through the first trimester or about to get pregnant and you're like, oh my god, I don't want to go through that, the good thing about mine was it only lasted a few weeks. Like just before I reached my second trimester, all the symptoms just went away. So that's what I was so grateful about. But yeah, I mean, whew, it was a lot. How did it feel when you knew you were preggers? I think me and Luke touched on this a little bit, but I think for me it was, I remember my initial reaction was like pure joy, and then you get into the thick of things and start thinking about logistics, and you're like, okay, how am I gonna plan this? Like, you know what I mean? It's just like a whole different thing. Going with that initial gut feeling is what made everything so much smoother, and because like that's initially how I felt, and that's the same way Luke felt. I mean, it's a blessing, especially because I've always pictured having kids. There's never the right time, so there's no need or sense freaking out. I just really believed everything would work itself out, you know. Did you experience morning sickness, and for how long? Asking for future self. Yeah, answer this. I experienced it for between the seventh week and the very end, like a couple of days before I was in my my second trimester. I couldn't even eat an apple. Couldn't eat a damn apple. I tried an orange, I threw it up, like, but it cleared, and that's what's important. I really thought I was gonna have a girl, because everyone was just like, oh, the morning sickness, if it's really severe, that just means you're having a girl. Those are rumors. I think it doesn't matter, but the good thing is there are things that can help, and it doesn't last the whole time for some people. I know there's a sickness where it does, and Jesus, please take care of those women. Oh my goodness, that's strength beyond anything I could even handle. I'm just glad it was just a phase, because whew, rough. How are you guys planning for baby C, especially during this time? So with the whole COVID situation, everything was just totally up in the air. So I doubt my labor and delivery story will be up by now, like by the time this video goes up, but I'll just give you guys a quick snippet of what happened. So initially we planned to do our birth at a birth center. We actually went through with it, and a lot happened along the way, and I ended up having to get a C-section. So many things were happening, or I guess not happening. Anyway, it's such a long story, guys. Just stay tuned for when I actually tell you guys like the exact events of what happened, because it was borderline nuts. Like, I couldn't believe I was in labor for freaking 70 plus hours. 70 hours. Anyway, so yeah, our initial plan was to give birth at the birth center. Like, I really didn't want to give birth in a hospital, because I don't know, I was just kind of scared about, I just heard a lot of horror stories about giving birth in America. Like, just even given the state that we're having conversations about like the realities of being black and giving birth in America, like those are real. I mean, I know so many people, like I actually know people that went into a hospital and they were giving birth or they were pregnant and they just weren't taken seriously, and some of the symptoms that they presented to their doctors weren't taken seriously, and then eventually it kind of picked up and they became even sicker. I don't know, those stories were just way too scary for me. That was the initial plan. It didn't work out quite as we planned, as we wanted to. Just, I think that's like the theme of 2020. And oh, little guy is done. Whew, that was a long session. It's almost 20 minutes. Oh, so we're just gonna burp. So yeah, I think it was just a thing where, you know, things just didn't work out according to plan. But again, everything happens for a reason, and as long as I had my healthy baby boy, that's all that mattered to me. So someone asked, what was your favorite part of pregnancy so far? My second and third trimester were like a freaking breeze. First of all, the second trimester, I had so much energy. The amount of food I was eating, and I could just keep going. It was just so nice. Because, you know, I think the only thing that limits me from eating as much as I want to is just because my body's like, no, stop. So the fact that my body just kept telling me to keep going, I was just like, yes. That's definitely my favorite part. And just the belly. Like, I miss my belly, you know? Like, I'm glad he's here, but sometimes I'm just like, oh, I miss the bump. Oh, it was such a nice feeling. Put you in here. Okay, hey beautiful, how far along are you and do you have a name? Aw, shucks, I don't think I've shared his name, but his name is Cairo. Yeah, Cairo, like the city in Egypt. Yeah, he's my little Cairo, my little golden boy. How has your body changed and how do you feel about it? Honestly, I was pretty happy with how I was progressing. Yeah, as much as there's this whole eating for two thing, like you're actually not supposed to eat that much. I know I think it's just because I was eating more plant-based stuff that I kind of avoided gaining as much weight. Like I didn't have any dairy, I wasn't really eating meat like that. Like I definitely would occasionally, but it wasn't a thing. It was just basically my lifestyle that I already had before. Even now I can tell that just because I didn't gain as much weight when I was pregnant, it was kind of easier to shed off. Moderation is literally what I've always been about, and it's just helped. Someone else asked, is that one of the many reasons you guys married so fast? You said you had organized it in under a month. Yeah, I mean, it definitely progressed things a lot faster. We weren't pressured by anyone though. It wasn't our parents telling us, okay, cool, like now that you have the baby, like you guys have to like get, you know what I mean? It wasn't like, it was definitely me and Luke's decision, and just we looked at the general timeline of things and I was like, okay, I definitely want to get married before the baby comes, and he felt the same way. So yeah, everything was pretty much sped up after that point. I think it just made things less complicated, and we initially wanted to actually get married in Kenya, and maybe we still kind of will do something, you know, especially because I still want my African wedding, and it's still, even with COVID, I don't even know if that's gonna happen. Like, it's a whole thing. Yeah, I think generally everything had to be pushed because of legal reasons, and we just didn't want to make anything complicated. It's like the baby's coming, like we can't stop that, so we might as well do everything else to make sure when he comes, like there are no complications. So yeah, and it was still the best decision ever. And yeah, I mean, we have adapted so quick to married life and just family life. It's honestly just been great. Okay, another question. What surprised you the most about pregnancy? Honestly, how like your body is like really built for it. Like women are built to give birth. Even when I was like growing bigger and bigger and bigger, like I didn't feel like I was disconnected from my body. Like I just felt like we were changing together. Initially I was scared. I was like, yo, like I don't know what's gonna happen. Like I don't know how my body is gonna adjust, but it just does. It just really does. It just wasn't as bad as things were painted out to be. I don't know if I paint things very badly in my head, and then by the time it happens I'm like, oh, this is not bad, you know. Okay. Oh, okay, we're just gonna have to carry. Hi. How do you feel about being pregnant in a global pandemic? So scary. Yeah, I mean, it was obviously scary, and on top of that, everything changed. I had telehealth appointments, so that was like virtual appointments, which kind of didn't make me feel at ease, you know, because it's just not the same. Like I wanted, you know, hands-on, kind of like, can you check me everywhere and make sure everything's straight. I'll even have a video here of like what my appointments look like. I had to actually get measured in the car, you know, and have my weight taken, and everyone had masks, and you know, we kind of need to, even I could tell by the way the nurses or the midwives were kind of like measuring my stomach, or kind of like, it was just weird because it's such a new thing, and it's just the news and the media was making everything so much worse. Even just going into the store was weird. Like, I could tell people were looking at me like, you're so crazy, like you're pregnant, why are you in here? But it's like I had to do stuff. It was such a crazy experience, and I can't wait to tell him about all this and be like, yeah, I can't wait to tell them that you, yeah, he's not having it. He said nope. Okay, we are feeding again. How many kids do you want eventually? I don't know, like I can't really answer that because it just depends on the state of the world. But if like everything was cool and fine and dandy and everything was just fine, I think I would shoot for like 3 or 4. Do I like my husband more or less? That's so funny. I actually liked him more. Yeah, I don't know, he was just so sweet during the whole thing. It's like if I wasn't feeling good, you could just see it in his face, and he would try and make me feel better, whether it's like going to the store and getting whatever. So yeah, I did like him more. And even now with the newborn, he's been so helpful. So someone else asked, what was your birth plan? Were you planning to push the baby or have a C-section? I wasn't planning a C-section, but I got one. I wanted to give birth naturally with no meds. That was the initial plan, but everything changed. So yeah, just look out for the labor video. Did your parents hasten the process for you to wed when you told them that you were pregnant? Not really. I mean, of course, as parents, they want, you know, their first reaction was like, you know, is this serious? Because it was fast, you know, but it was just more of like logistical talk. Yeah, it would have just been so much harder to have parents who were like, oh, you know, dowry, and you can't do this, like you have to have been dating for this much and blah blah blah. Like, it would have just been so much harder. So yeah, I think it just made it so much easier. Okay, another question is, do you feel like you're prepared, especially because you're newly married? I didn't feel like there was any preparation that I could have done to make me feel better. Like, it was just like I had to just go in. Like, me and Luke were like, you know what, I think we're solid people, like we're kind of smart, like we'll figure it out together. And oh, that's what was bothering you. So yeah, we were kind of like, we'll figure it out together. I mean, there's no handbook of how to take care of a baby, you know. It's like every baby is different, every situation is different, even just where we live is different. Like, I'll get advice from people in Kenya about certain things. I just wanted to get advice on how I was gonna be able to like balance, you know, being a mom and trying to work and trying to take care of the house, and now I have a husband to take care of. Like, I wanted more of that. I know in Kenya it's just very different raising a kid, just because there's so much access to a lot of different, you know, whether it's family or hired help, or it's just easier, you know what I mean? Like, it's just like there was no way I could get prepared for whatever, so I just had to kind of go in. Like, you're not gonna know how to take care of a kid until you get into that situation. So yeah. Another question is, your mom gonna be there during and after delivery? This is such a touchy topic because she was supposed to be here 2 weeks before I gave birth, but I mean, Kenya's been under lockdown, still is till now, and I'm about a month into newborn life. So one thing that got me the most upset, because it's already kind of harder not having like my close friends and family, but you know, just like not having your mom or your parents or your direct immediate family, it just feels so strange, especially when they're growing so fast. It's just like a huge bum, you know. And I knew that I would need some extra hands, but I'm also glad that like hubby has such a supportive family. So, you know, his mom has taken over the role of kind of being like my mom, and she's just amazing. She is planning on coming soon, and I can't wait. thank God for FaceTime too, because we've really been FaceTiming every day with like the family. I think just all that just helps, you know. It would have been great, but I think it's just made us kind of stronger, and yeah, you know. Okay, he's going through his fussy period, so I'm just gonna answer 2 more questions, although there's so many interesting ones. Someone asked, how did I hide my bump? It's funny, when you're pregnant, it really depends on where the baby's at, like in this body. Sometimes he would switch and be like, it would look like I'm super pregnant, and I'm talking about like maybe the 2nd trimester, because the 3rd one, it was like so obvious. But if you're talking about how it's posting pictures and you couldn't tell, most of those pictures are old. They were from back in the day. Last question is, so how are you feeling about being a young mom? Do you feel like you're rushing a few things? Don't mean this in a bad way. I don't know, I feel like it's another kind of interesting aspect about my life that, you know, even just being given that I'm on YouTube and everything, I think, you know, there's just that stigma that, okay, I'm a young mom, like I've completely butchered my career path, or, you know, I'm gonna lose myself early and all that stuff. But like, I just think there's a reason why I became a young mom, because the way things happened is just like, it was too like divine, you know. I really believe in divine timing, and I think that's just part of what my life was called for. I also want to make sure I'm using this platform to also encourage other young moms as well, because I mean there's just so much that could be said about being a young mom, you know. And it's just because I'm also able to watch other women who are young as well, and they're still killing it. Like, they're still killing it in so many different aspects of their life, you know. Yeah, I mean, I think that should just be like a really good goal, is to make sure that I can balance both. You don't have to be restricted just because you're a mom. It's just a part of the journey, and you know, I think it's gonna be really cool that by the time I'm 30, he'll be like almost 7, you know, like he'll be able to like take care of himself to some extent, you know, or he'll be very, very self-aware and stuff. And it's just really what my journey is, and I've embraced every part of it, and I love being a young mom. There's so many things I want to accomplish, and I think he'll actually push me to get there even faster, you know. And that's what Luke says as well, because even Luke feels the same way about being a young dad, like just being young parents in general. So he wants to nest again. Okay, I think that is it for the questions. He is being super fussy, so we're gonna go and hang out and have playtime. Thank you guys for watching and staying till the end. I know this video is gonna be so freaking long, but yeah, I hope you guys have subscribed. I'm definitely gonna be sharing a bunch of other videos soon. Thank you guys for watching. I hope you guys have a good rest of your week. I should be uploading, at least getting back to my upload schedule soon. And yeah, before this dies, I want to say bye. Cairo says bye as well. Say bye. Bye. All right, I'll see you guys in my next video.